Hey folks, it is the Nutty Knife Guy. I was going to bring you a different knife than what about to show you, and got to the war post and do the whole thing today. But I picked this one up on a whim yesterday at Walmart because it was kind of unusual, and when I was holding the display model at Walmart, it actually seemed pretty good. And it is, kinda. But it's the kind of that's the rub, isn't it? This is a Camillus CUDA. Let's see, do I still have that window open here? No, I don't. Camillus CUDA. I don't have the model number or anything here. I will put it in the description of the video. Now, I really like the looks of this knife. Like I said before, my idea of beauty is simplicity and elegance, and this is it. This is a pretty straightforward drop point knife. I like my my pocket knives to be a little larger than a lot of people do. One of the reasons I got this though is its opening mechanism, and that is this. See this little knob right here? See if I can get it in better light. That's how you open this. I'm not really sure I like it, but I haven't seen too many knives without this. This is something I guess is like a Camillus folders thing. Now you notice that I whipped that open pretty quick, and the way you do that is you have to. On this one, you can't just push it forward. You have to push it towards around that chevron type thing here. It's got to go like this. And that's one of the things I'm not crazy about this is if you don't flip it open. I'm going to get something to whack it on. Hey, I'm about to whack a CUDA on a kudu, cold steel kudu here, but okay, this time the lock engaged. But my problem is when I was playing with this, when I first got it, it didn't engage because the pivot screw was too tight. I played with the tension. I got it to the point where it engages most of the time. Now this is one of the things I really wanted to tell you about. This is sticking a little bit. It doesn't stick really bad, but sometimes when you go to close it, you get resistance right here because this thing doesn't. And you see, push that down, and it goes back into what you hope is locked. All right, I'm going to see if that caused a lock failure. No, not this time. But anyway, I was playing. There we go again. Now it's sticking again, and it doesn't take a lot to undo that stick. But then it also has a tendency not to go completely shut unless you give it a good push. Problem, right? If you don't want to come open, just stay open when you put it in your pocket. But when I first got this, it was so tight that the locking bar was not able. There was too much friction, too much resistance for the locking bar to fully engage. And the lock still sometimes, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this to fail on purpose, so I'm going to keep doing that. At first, I couldn't get it to lock up at all. I thought I had a real lemon, and I almost just walked back into Walmart with it because I got it out of the box as soon as I got in the car and did the spine whack on the steering wheel. But the problem is this thing. It's unique and it makes it worthy of the collection. But the problem is you really have to guide this thing around that chevron shape. You can't just push it forward because it just stops, and then you can flip it. Now, and there it sticks again. Now, I also sometimes I'm thinking about maybe 125 when you flip it open. There, it didn't come open all the way, which means the lock didn't engage. And I wasn't sure that was going to happen when I do this, when I was doing the video. And now it's appears to be open. It's all the way open this way, but I think you can see, and I'm having glare problems here. I think you can see that the locking bar didn't engage when you did that. So yeah, there it went. Now, I did that a couple of times, and the lock partially engaged. And I'm kind of glad that that happened when I was doing this, because I can't really make it do that reliably. And that's the thing. Sometimes it locks, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's actually, when you think about it, worse. I'm going to get this out of my face here. That's worse than it not locking up at all, like the Cold Steels, the Crawford, and the Luzon, because it's inconsistent. And so if you're using this on a daily basis and you're doing something, you're just using it for work, and you flip it out and you think it's going to be okay, it is. Like I said, I'm thinking I got a failure. I actually wasn't there. I said yesterday, didn't I? It was the day before yesterday I got this thing. And I've been playing with it all along a lot because of the iffy lock. I just wanted to keep. So about 1 in 25, it does not lock well. And it has that sticking problem. Sometimes when you open it. And that's a lot more common. And here, again, it doesn't lock up all the time, but you can think it did if you don't really listen to that click. And now, even if you pull it open, the lock won't engage. You have to disengage the lock and open it again. It helps if you really flip this open. And you can't, but they see again, if you just flick it open like that, the lock doesn't engage. That's why I wanted to tell you about this. Just a second. I'm going to do some typing here and keep talking, but you're going to have to look at the back of my head because I want to give you the number of this thing so I don't forget. So let me get this typed in here. So this is one of those ones where I wanted to get the video out in case there anybody else has this knife out there or is thinking about buying one, since they are in Walmart. Okay, let's see here. The Camillus CUDA. Does it give you the bottle number here? I'll get back to this in a second. And it's a little frustrating because, like I said, I really like the look of the knife. It feels great in the hand. The ergos are great. It's got a nice thumb ramp, nice jimping, G10 scales. I like a little stick out on the handle with my knife. AUS 8 steel. It came nice and sharp. It's got an unreliable lock. And the thing of it is, because it's not, see, there's that stick again. And then it doesn't want to go completely shut. And this makes it, you can't use it. You can't carry it in your pocket. Now, maybe this would be all right as like a pack knife, an EDC knife, or something you throw in your glove box. But for me, it's going in my collection. And because of this little feature that I think is actually the problem, I don't think it works very well. Okay, now let me see if I can find someplace that lets me have the model number. But it won't let me go there. Isn't that fun? That's a YouTube video. That's not going to do me any good. Well, anyway, I'll find it. I'll put it in the description. You guys don't want to hear me. But the bottom line is, this is a crying shame. If they would have just gone with a regular old flipper, this would have been a great knife. But I don't want anybody to get all caught up because of this gizmo that it isn't even reliably unreliable. Sometimes the lock works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it goes closed all the way, sometimes it doesn't. And that's dangerous because if you're not a knife guy, you just grab a pocket knife like this and you don't test it like I test knives, then you don't know this happens until you're bleeding. And if you are a knife guy, then you know that this ain't making it. So this is a collector's piece. Now, I've seen reviews online. These have been out for a while. I've seen reviews online where people really like them, but nobody ever actually tested them. And just based on the way that they stick, and sometimes the lock works and sometimes the lock doesn't, I'm not going to test this any further because I like my fingers attached to my hands. So there it is. I mean, it's just kind of a public service announcement. At least this version of the this particular knife of this line is unsafe, and they have other models that have this mechanism, and I can honestly see why they haven't caught on. So that's what I got for you today, folks. Now you may have one that's perfectly fine, and that's great. If you like it anyway and get one, just make sure that you test it and make sure it's reliable. But this is my first Camillus folder. I've got some other Camillus fixed blades that aren't bad for budget blades. I've tested a few of them. They're on the channel. But I am not. I might get another Camillus folder that doesn't have this thing. And CUDA, by the way, is an acronym about this. Something like it's something Camillus describing this thing. Like I said, it's kind of a nice anachronism for a collection. But you see how this thing doesn't go flush? It's supposed to be flush. And when it doesn't go flush, you get problems. So, and there you go. You have to really push that down. Now, it's kind of a minor thing, but the lock failures aren't. So, there you go. I'm going to use a knife that actually works. So, remember, folks, to draw your knives only in just purpose, sheathe them only with honor, and remember that without knives, life would be dull and pointless. Please like, share, and subscribe, and serve the almighty YouTube algorithm. All hail the algorithm. And I will, hopefully, the next time I do a video, I will be testing a knife. I don't know which knife that will be. I've kind of got backed up because I've been busy. But in any case, I bid you goodbye. I will, right now, before I do anything else, look up all the whys and wherefores and particulars of this thing. So you can either go out and buy it and see if you like it anyway, or avoid it. But maybe other Camillus folders are good. This one, not so much. I bid you goodbye.